Um, if you'd like to introduce yourself, Matt, we'll jump into the presentation and finish in about 30 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me over. I was telling the other guys I was actually I didn't know you did these until you invited me. So I'm gonna have to start jumping on and seeing more of these presentations. So Matt Hansen, I founded a company in 2011 called Simple Nexus. If you've heard of Rocket Mortgage, my company became the de facto alternative to Rocket Mortgage, white labeled for the banks in the US. So the banks and non-banks, might be, but whoever does, mortgages was our area. And we went all the way from home search through closing, recording, and vaulting those files. So a fun experience. It was acquired by Encino, and I led their product and engineering for a couple of years, and then decided it was time for me to get to know my family. So I'm in Utah most of the time, which is not true that was not true for a long time. So great to be here. I look, I'm not an expert on family office things, but I've found a need for managing a lot of the functions that would, I think, very often go into a family office through 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 trying to manage my own assets. I haven't quite wanted to take the leap of actually building out a family office. So I've been using AI to assist me through a lot of these things along the way. So I've been out deal hunting, looking for what's going to get good returns, trying to make intelligent decisions the best I can with all of that. And so with that, I started to find that there were some tools available. So you say I can share my screen here, Taylor.
Yes, you
Um,
should be able to.
let's see. I'm looking on. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen there, I think.
Yes.
Okay, great. So so we'll just hop over to I which I just had beautiful AI just kind of automate building this out for me once I got the points down. So as we go through the family office stuff, I mean, you've got a lot of things that just take a lot of repetition. Things that you get monthly reports that you want to update. Where let's say you've got a portfolio for markets, maybe with different advisors. Maybe you manage your own. Um, You've got reports from investments that you've made. Maybe they're coming out quarterly. Maybe you've got something monthly. Maybe you've got stuff that's showing your ownership. Maybe some dilutions happened. Some things are happening in different areas. You just want to know what the heck is going on. So I've been able to automate a lot of those things and build out solutions for that. I've gone and I've watched um, and recorded pitches where you have 20 plus companies all pitching together in a room, and I'll record it and have that um, processed through just a little chat that I've got that'll split out an evaluation of all those companies, and then give a summary of what it assesses are the most valuable or most interesting, I should say, while you're still in the room with the founders in a 15-minute spin. So I'll try and run through some of these things and look at some functions and try and show some of those functions and what solutions might work and what might not work. I'm sure everybody here is using AI to varying degrees. It's in every conversation, just about, it seems like. Um, it's probably something that we're all doing to some degree. Other things, if I've got, and I'll show you a spreadsheet I've got in a minute here, but things where you may have some to-do items, um, and you can have an AI agent take those, go grab your contacts from that folder, where you're storing all the information for that particular deal, and have it generate follow-up emails for people. I never have AI send emails. It just generates drafts, and then I can edit and choose to send just along the way as those get moving through. So um, the deep integration, I mean, I've integrated with some of the major investment platforms. What I found with some of the major deal platforms like PitchBook, for example, is it became very well, PitchBook has their own number of tokens that they'll let you go through that doesn't actually let you do that much, in my opinion. It just goes through the tokens too fast. There is another way where you can have AI run a browser for you to go through and do a bunch of work out of something like PitchBook, but it consumes way too many tokens from the AI company. So I haven't found that that's very efficient so far, but I would love to use some of those things for more deal sourcing or like category research. So let's say you want to do, I mean, you want to try and increase your deal flow through some of the AI, or not AI, just the deal platforms out there, for company research. So far, it looks like that just absorbs too many tokens, and it might still be worth it, but it would be it'd be expensive, and I chose to not do that. Um, um, with let's see, I'm gonna jump through here. Another thing I had is this is kind of a family office thing, in that it was a building that I was adding on my property, my personal property. And I had 11 draws from the builder over a period of about 2.5 years. And I've been meaning to try and put those together and get a breakdown of who were all the contractors, who do I need to contact in the future when things don't go right? What's the kind of virtual binder I can put together? So I just come into a tool. You can use any chat tool pretty much, but I go into Discord and I just tell Discord, hey, go and grab all of the draw emails from this builder and assemble them all, put them all together. Tell me how much I spent per contractor, what they worked on. And I got a great cost breakdown spreadsheet, along with contact numbers and everything for all of those contractors. So just really helpful. I mean, it's a random thing, but that's the point, is you can look at these tools to do just about anything. Yeah, I'll get deals that'll come through. I had somebody reach out to me the other day, and they want me to. I sat on the board for a SPAC recently, and a SPAC that took Angel Studios public, and I got called to say, will you come and do another SPAC here? We think that there's a great opportunity, and so I just go into my Discord chat and I say, hey, go and evaluate these emails. Tell me about the opportunity. Tell me about evaluate the attachments that they've sent, and give me a breakdown of these things. Some of the risk analysis as well as the opportunity, and that's what it'll do. It's a really incredible. Um, like the opportunity that I mentioned, where you can go and you can record pitches, right? I went to watch the Sandbox pitches. I said, go and extract each one of these companies. No, I'll even show you this here. Just said, go and extract each one of these companies, and and um, tell me about the companies. Give me an overview breakdown. I want to know who the founders are. I want to know their backgrounds. I want to know the company's run rates. I want to know a SWOT analysis on each one of them. I want to know about the industry and the momentum in the industry. Um, and then give me a breakdown of who the top, let's say, 5 companies are. So it ran through and said, oh, in about 2 minutes, it said, okay, now I found that there are 23 different companies, and I'm going to spin out 23 agents to go and do the research for these. So 15 minutes and it comes back and it gives me this sheet with a master ranking along with its methodology, um, the companies that it thought were good. Anybody wants to ask me I'll just send you this stuff. I'm not like I don't have anything to protect here. Um, but um, but I just thought that was just so neat, and it's very reasonable. It's in many ways much more thoughtful than what a human could have been. So very fun to see those things. Um, I'd mentioned before I want I want some task automation to get built in. So I've got this spreadsheet that it breaks down, and I don't know how many tabs it's got, but it's got all the then it's auto what it's doing each month is automatically updating all of these. So it's going and it's logging into websites where I've got financial assets. I don't let it log into my bank accounts. I don't let it go anywhere where it could do anything with the money. But I do let it, and I want it to go everywhere where it can get reports. If it has to go into something like a bank account, then I'll update the sheet on that one. But then I've got a dashboard that breaks it all down. It'll email me out a report and what the breakdown is of assets and investments. Um, it stores the AI prompts that I want it to run on a monthly basis. And I'm just giving these examples. Really, the point here is just to kind of show you the things that are possible. So, how do you get there? Is a big question. Um, well, there are a few different tools, and I'd say you just have to try and figure out what tool is right for you. And the way that I would think about it is you probably most people here have heard of OpenClaw. OpenClaw, very cool. And OpenClaw, I think, opened the floodgates for a lot of these tools. I have a problem with OpenClaw personally, and that's just security. And that's, it kind of started hitting the news, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, people started saying OpenClaw's got security issues, and they're absolutely right. OpenClaw is if you want to have a self-hosted platform where you can do just about anything you want with it, OpenClaw is a very simple way to go about getting that built. You buy a Mac Mini and you install OpenClaw on it, and it'll walk you through everything. The problem with OpenClaw is the security framework lets too many um, it, it, it it has connections to too many different projects that just can't can't be viewed and managed from a security perspective. Um, I've personally opted to use NanoClaw, which is the top one listed here. Just similar to OpenClaw, it doesn't have all of the built-in integrations. But the thing to understand is how simple it is to add integrations now. So you just use Claude code underneath, and it does require more technical setup with NanoClaw, and so that is a drawback for a lot of people. I don't think it's too complicated, but it is not where I would tell somebody to start. If you're looking at getting started, I would probably lean towards either Claude Cowork or Perplexity. Um, the 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 problem with something like Claude Cowork is because of the security concerns that Anthropic would have, or say Google, or I think any other major company, is they don't want it to have the ability to go do things like log into websites for you and they're scared of the security implications of that, and I don't blame them. So, but I think if you're going to start getting into help me generate these types of reports, help me generate the prompts, you can get everything done, and then you can go log into the websites, grab the reports, drop them in a folder, and then say evaluate and process this folder. Um, Pretty much all of these will integrate with whether you're using Microsoft or Google or whatever for managing your documents. These all pretty much can handle them well. Perplexity is a very, very cool one too, worth looking at. Um, it's going to be more cloud hosting based, whereas a lot of these others, well, and Claude Cowork also can be. So, and I just, yeah, I, I would recommend if you're just getting started, I would look at Claude Cowork as a baseline. If you're a little more technical, I'd highly recommend NanoClaw. Um, and yeah, I mean, we look through just what you need to do, just figure out what's taking a lot of time. And really, I mean, use your imagination here because I mean, you've got things where people are literally, I mean, they're going out and they're having their systems, there are many accounts of this, having a system that's even trained on their own voice and can go out and uh, look around the country for the best deal on the specific kind of car they want and make the phone calls to the dealerships and negotiate with the salespeople on these and then get the best price on the car that they want. Um, and this is all happening through, there are many different chat systems, WhatsApp, a lot of people use. I use Discord. Um, and I've got this bot in there that I just ask questions and it's going to go through and it's going to give me analysis and thought and it's going to maintain a memory. So when you come back into it, it's going to know um, what you have done before. And interestingly, so you'll notice I've got different channels for different personas. So let's say I've got like a VC deals persona. The persona here is actually of like an analyst. So um so as I look through the eyes of the analyst, that's what this channel is intended to do. And so you can have these different channels that think differently from a role perspective. Um, And the stuff's just it's just super fun to think through these things um and figure out what it is that you want to what you want to automate. And it's getting really incredible. I'm not quite there on the idea that this is just gonna like replace people. I think that's a little bit over the top that it's gonna replace people in an excessive fashion. I think it's more likely that we all get more creative with it and we're able to accomplish a lot more. So I do think that humans in general are going to split into two categories, and that's going to be those who are adapting and learning to use the new tools, and your skill set will change, right? And that includes I think humans on every level. And the people who are able to learn the new skill sets are going to have incredible efficiency. And so that I think that's very exciting. That's all I've got. So Taylor, I don't know if we want to run through a few questions here. I'm happy to
Yeah,
answer
that
what I can. Again, I'm not an expert here. I'm just a guy who's got a problem I'm trying to solve with on a daily basis. So.
awesome. Well, I appreciate it. This is a great walkthrough of what you're doing, Matt. And I think it's just helpful to be able to share within this group new ways of implementation and kind of tactical approaches. One of the one of the questions I have, you're using Discord. What made you use Discord versus like Cowork or something else like that to create those personas or analysts, as you were calling them? Like, how are you choosing which tools you're focused on?
So I'm already familiar with Discord and already comfortable with Discord. I like that. I like the way that the channels set up in Discord. And so I just chose to use Discord. If there's not really, I mean, Cowork, like, I mean, you can use Teams. Well, I don't know if you can use Teams because usually Teams is going to be have more like an enterprise control. So that might be an issue. I'm sure there's a way to integrate with it, but that would probably take more cooperation from an administrator over your network.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, I mean you could I'm sure you could use Slack. You could use and if you're like, oh my gosh, that's just too much. I can't even think of where you get started. Well, all you do is you go into your agent, whether you're using Claude Cowork or you're using something else, and say, I want to integrate this to my other thing. How do I go about that? And it'll walk you right through step by step. Um, so if you think, oh, it's just too hard. No, just go in the chat and ask it. It'll just tell you. It'll
I
tell
love that
you what to do.
approach. That's
And
awesome.
if you say, you know what, here's my background, I'm not technical or whatever, help walk me through. It'll make it super easy. It's getting really incredible.
Awesome. And just to the group, if you've got questions, please throw them in the chat or raise your hand on Zoom so that we can go through them in order. Paul had a question around hallucinations, and it's a topic that I think often comes up when we're doing analysis with AI. How are you checking or dealing with hallucinations in the work that you're doing, Matt?
So there has to be so that look, the work that I'm doing, I mean, a lot of it is, I mean, it's just me, right? And so now if you are underwriting, like let's say you're underwriting a mortgage, right? A human, you have to have something called human in the loop, which is going to look at things and say, yeah, that makes sense, right? Um, and you're going to need some other systems perhaps to double check it. Now, in terms of hallucinations and those things, that was, I mean, it still happens, right? But people also have to understand how fast things are improving, right? I mean, the hallucinations that happen today are much fewer between than they used to be. And everything's changing so fast. We want to also we need things that are going to double check the system, right? Um, but but it depends on what you're doing. What I'm doing is not life or death, right? What I'm doing is I mean, I look through things and maybe sometimes I'll get something that's really weird that comes up. Like I was preparing this presentation. I said, here are the things I want to talk about. Go through, like create a presentation for me on this. And it did it. And for some reason it thought that I was building the company NanoClaw and that I was trying to get everybody to sign up with my company. So well, that's not correct. Um, in fairness, humans hallucinate too. So, um, that's kind of how I think about it is, yeah, it happens. You got to watch for it. You got to pay attention. You also got to realize it's getting better at a pretty rapid rate.
I had a similar experience there, Matt, with a human, and I wondered what the ratio between human hallucinations and AI hallucinations is. Like, I got down the road with an introduction from someone that I knew and had a meeting with the person and found out that the person was different than who I was supposed to be introduced to because they had the same name as someone on LinkedIn. And so I got down the road with somebody and like had a 30-minute meeting with them because I was introduced to them by a friend. And I'm like, yeah, maybe AI would have done the same thing. And it happens.
Maybe. If you want to look at hallucinations, just look at politics. They're everywhere.
So true. Um, so a couple of questions from Mike in the chat. Would you ever put an AI checking the work of another AI agent
But
or
it happens all the time. Yeah, it's happening extensively with engineers today. Where you're building systems and pipelines that maybe ticket writing is going through and then development is going through. And the AI is going through and generating solutions to these tickets. It's generating the tests that have to pass, and then it's running the tests against the solution that's been built. And by the way, it can be all the rest of the tests in the system as well. And if any tests fail, it rejects it, sends it back to the AI solution that was building the ticket, or I'm sorry, building the solution, and tells it to go fix it. And that we've got this problem with it, now go fix it. And there's no human involvement. This is happening a lot. This isn't like a parlor trick, right? This is stuff's like happening in production in real time now.
yeah. So thanks for putting this stuff in the chat. Keep it coming. A couple of questions about your text, or one question about your tech stack, Matt. Looks like you're using NanoClaw and Discord. Are you using anything else, or what would you recommend for content creation, sales sheets, voice content, video content, anything on that?
I mean, honestly, I would just go to Claude Cowork. Like if you're the only reason that I would say to use or perhaps Perplexity, but Perplexity is worth looking into. But if you're looking at just using it for like some content generation and things, stuff that can be like more on demand, for the most part, I would say you don't need to get too technical. Um, if you do want to do things like, well, let's say that you're tied into, I mean, let's say that you're tied into some other website that's a source for deal information, and you want it to go log in there as a human and scan through it. And then, yeah, maybe you need something like a little more technical, but I would really recommend just using something like Claude Cowork for getting onto those things. In terms of my stack, I'm using NanoClaw. It's running on a Mac Mini, which is kind of the de facto like what standard like OpenClaw people have used a lot. So there's a Mac Mini. It runs out of my basement. I've just containerized it so it doesn't like it can't like nothing else in my network can see it. Um, and and that's one of the nice things about Perplexity is you've got basically that, but it runs in a cloud. Um, and what else? It's running on Claude as the LLM, but it can run on any of them. And Claude or OpenAI both have great solutions. Um, but I mean, that's basically it. You get a Mac Mini, you install NanoClaw, and then you ask it like and install Claude code, and then you just tell it to build everything out. Like I wanted so one of the things I talked about how I recorded the presentation of those startups. Um, I wanted to do that. I used my meeting like note taker thing, which is I use Fireflies because that doesn't require an enterprise license to access its APIs. So then I just go into my NanoClaw and I say, hey, go integrate to Fireflies for me. And it says, okay, great. I need your API token. Here's where you find it. And then give it to me. And so I go get that and I give it to it. And now it's integrated into my meeting note taker. So now anything, and then my meetings that I have, if I have Zoom meetings or calls or anything with anybody, like the investments I've made, it's all stored in the folders of those investments. So now all the notes of all the calls I've had on all my investments are stored in with the folders, appropriate with all the other information. If I ever want to know anything about that investment, I just go into my Discord and I ask it. And it knows everything. It knows the terms of all my deals. It's got everything. And so, um, So I mean, that kind of stuff is just so cool. You can do most of that with a Claude Cowork. And then you don't have to worry about like getting a Mac Mini and installing things, and it's just a much more streamlined setup. They're just from security purposes, Anthropic's just not letting it do some of the things that I want it to do.
Yeah. We've got time for one more question. What kinds of tasks do you find AI genuinely struggles with?
Mm. Um, what are some things it genuinely struggles with? I mean, the like logging into websites obviously is logging into websites is the problem with that. Well, you got two problems. One is, again, if you go to something like Claude Cowork, it's not going to let you do that. Um, for one, and they're very explicit about that. They just don't allow it yet because they're just concerned about security. And if it does, if some catastrophe happened and it caused somebody's life to fall apart because it went and moved money around or something, because that would be scary. So that's now in my case where I am going and having it log into websites. Um, when you're having it, at least if you're doing research, for example, it can end up processing possibly too much information, right? So like I mentioned, PitchBook, for example, I tried a couple of different approaches. One was through PitchBook's um, like AI token API calls, but they you just can't get that much. They just cut it off so you can hardly get anything um, without paying a lot more money. And if you have a login to the websites, so you kind of bypass the APIs and say, no, I'm just gonna have my AI go into the website and do the research. It's just too much. It's just too much information, and so it ends up costing a lot of money because it's trying to feed all this information to the AI system that it wants to process, and then you're just burning a cache, right? Just trying to have it run through the valve. So I would say those things like are still they're kind of iffy. Obviously, physical tasks that, I mean, I saw South Park where all of the handymen were driving around with gold chains and Lamborghinis, um, because they're the only ones who could do anything useful anymore. Um, and yeah, so it's not very good at that. But honestly, I mean, obviously, there are going to be a lot of areas where it's going to have errors more than others. I think it's hard for me to say. It's going to be very hit or miss. Um, it's going to be very hit or miss on what it's good at and what it's not. But it's getting so much better at so many things. I thought what it's doing in code. My background's a coder. What it's doing in code, I thought was going to take 10 years to get there. It's just way too complicated. And I mean, it's from the time I thought it would take 10 years, it took a year. And the stuff it's doing, I'm like, oh my goodness. Just stuff where it was parlor tricks before, right? AI was. I was like, oh, that's nice, but like I mean, you get into the weeds and it's not gonna do things well. It's not like that anymore. It's real. The stuff it's doing is just it's I'm having to go to developers and say, guys, you if they're a little bit hurt, like feelings are hurt, like their craft is being, is being invaded. Like, yeah, you don't have a choice anymore. You have to learn new skills. That's just how it is. And not that they learn skills besides coding. I think knowing coding is still immensely valuable. They just have to understand that what they're doing in coding, the skills that what they do in coding now has to change.
Yeah, that's great. Great insight. Matt, thank you so much for sharing. You mentioned that you could share some of the resources that you were showing. If you can send those to Hannah, we'll be able to circulate those with all the attendees. But really appreciate your time and insight here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the point is use your imagination and then just go ask. Just go in and I did see a question, is Claude Code that Claude Cowork paid? It is paid. I don't know what they charge exactly, but it is paid. But I also would say like most likely everyone on this call can afford whatever it is and should pay it because it's changing everything.
Yeah, I think it's about $20 a month.
Yeah,
Uh,
their basic plan is you can go up to like a couple hundred, but like this for the stuff it's doing for everybody on this call is probably saving you enough time that it's in your skills that are advancing. It's you should do it anyway.
yeah, so true. Well, Matt, thank you. Thanks all for joining. We'll keep plugging away and be here next week at the same time. We're at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So please feel free to join and check out the schedule on LinkedIn, Midday Connect. But really appreciate, Matt, your time. Thank you so much and look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yeah, thanks. Take care.
We'll see you.